Okay, so this is what the blade looks like before the teeth go on. We call this the shoulder or the finger. It's important to not let the blade wear so much that it erodes into this area. As long as this area is still intact, the teeth can be replaced. This blade's a couple thousand feet at the most, but the owner of it brought it in because he's taking a break for a few days, and now's a good time to do some work on it. Personally, I'll run this blade a lot more, but you can see it's got a lot of area left you could wear until you get down into the shoulder area here. And it'll cut just fine this way. If it's missing just one, if it's missing two, they start wearing a lot faster. You notice how this blade's not nearly, this tooth is not nearly as fat as this one anymore, but that's because it's lost both of its carbide diamond inserts on the end that actually do the cutting. But the idea here is that we're going to torch out just the thicker portion of, this is what we call the tooth itself. So the idea here is to torch out the old tooth and leave the shoulder completely intact here. And so we're going to do it with an acetylene torch, even though we'd probably use a plasma in the shop. But if you're doing this out in the field, it's not a big deal at all as long as you're careful. Just to torch out the fatter area. Keep in mind that there's a weld fillet here, and so you don't want to get into that too much. So that's cool enough to handle. So personally, I would just lay in the new tooth that you get two new teeth with the blade, and we sell the teeth also. I would just lay a new tooth on there and kind of trace around it with the soapstone, and that'll get you started. You know, cut on the inside of that line, and then a lot of times when you're using a cutting torch, you can actually see the difference between the two metals as you're cutting, if you're careful. So we're going to show you the torching of the tooth here in a little bit, and the gouging of the weld and getting it tapered down, and then we're going to show you welding the new tooth on, and that's all there is to it. It's a very quick and simple operation. About 30 seconds to remove a tooth. There's a really good, if you can see it, yeah, you can see it, the line. You can see the line between the two metals. And it generally shows up when you've got a weld joint like this. So that's what you want to look for. You don't want to, you know, that bevel is actually into the shoulder or the finger, which is desirable. That's attaching it to the blade itself. But you don't want to get too much of that finger. You just want a nice scarf there to give you some area to weld in.
sound like someone for some reason the valve. Want to clamp? Now you got it.
That's about right.
Yep.